Hello, I'm dropping in on us today as this book by Thomas Pynchon, which I've got upside down. Gravity's Rainbow. And the best way to describe this is probably upside down. Single-handedly, the most difficult book I've ever had the fortune of reading, but it is definitely a worthwhile book if you want to test out the old brain cells. Unfortunately, I've only got a few and they're a bit spread out, so they're all operating at full capacity in this book. Hard read, but definitely one that you should have a go at if you feel you want to test yourself. So what's it about? Well, it's sort of this idea of free will versus this sort of predestined living manipulated by other forces, fed through by paranoia, and it's the main protagonist, Slothrop, is trying to uncover the secrets behind the rockets that are falling, and it's sort of how his search, following his search to uncover the secrets of this rocket whilst he's sort of being chased, hounded by outside forces, and he's being fed with paranoia throughout the book. And all these characters that he meets, they sort of display similar themes in different ways. So ways to describe a book, well, you can probably throw every single adjective at it and it'll be applicable. It's fun, it's depraved, it's beautiful, it's romantic, it's haunting, all these sorts of different words, it's all contained in this book. So what's fun about it? You'll probably want to know. Why should you read it? Well, there are lots of puns spread throughout it. Some of it goes over my head, but some of them you can get a chuckle out if you sort of figure them out, which is always nice because it sort of rewards reading into the text. And there's lots of daft little surreal bizarre scenes. So this little snot monster that's going around London, crawling through sewers, poems of getting turned on by rockets and machinery, getting confused for a pig god, custard fire pipes in hot air balloons. Yeah, it's sort of all in there. But on the flip side, it's also, it can be quite serious as well. There's one particular narrative point in the book focusing on this man, Franz Proctor, and his daughter, and I'm not going to say much more, but that is one of the simplest parts of the book to read, but it's probably one of the most emotionally effective as well. And again, it's this idea of paranoia feeding into it, but I won't say much more, but it is a treat if you're into the hard-hitting stuff, because that's probably the biggest emotional punch in that book for me. There's also these ideas of self-extermination, and it can be quite a sad book at times, but I also say it's beautiful, romantic. There are these romantic scenes throughout. There's this character Roger Mexico and his young love, some nice poems stranded throughout. So it's a difficult book, but well worth reading. Now I say that, but some people will be turned off by it. Some people might think it's just all this hoity-toity intellectualism, which is fair enough. It won't be for everybody. The best advice I'd give is just read it and go with the flow. And what I had was I had this little online page which details each little chapter. So when I finished a section of the book, I just read this little review of what actually went on in the book, because it's not too difficult, you know, it's not impossible to follow, but sometimes you sort of get distracted and lose track of things, so it's just handy having this separate page where I could go to and just read, you know, the key pertinent points, and that helped me get through this book. So all I do is just go with the flow and try to enjoy it. So this is Gravity's Rainbow. There's a lot to get out of this, you know, I've only sort of skimmed the surface. Won't be for everybody, but if you want a nice challenge, here's a book for you. Thanks for watching.